All right, pardon me. I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, we're a catalyst in each other's lives, as well as our own. And we work at being the artist we've always wanted to be. Behind me, through my stupid stories and weird stuff that happens to me that I share with you, and I hope you can avoid them or learn from them, or maybe find something that's actually helpful in the stories and conversations behind me, or be inspired, something like that. Behind me is one of the Fridas that I'm working on. She's pretty cartoonish and silly right now. I've been readjusting her face. I've had it super wide, I've had it too thin, I've had her eyes way over here and over there. So I put her on the floor. The canvas is actually 4 foot by 4 foot, but I put her on the floor so I could get more of an angle that the photographer had when they were taking this particular picture of her, portrait of her. She's in her studio and seated. So I thought I'd put her on the floor. Again, hair. And why am I buttoned up to my eyeballs? There we go. I decided to put her on the floor so I could see from the photographer's point of view and maybe get her proportions a little bit more right. Correct. Story that might be helpful to you. Again, because I had her up too high and I was trying to see her from a standing point of view. And what I needed to do was look at it like a child would, like a photo of a child. You're coming at it at an adult angle, down to the child's height. From the adult height to the child's height, you're seeing it like this. So you can't paint it like this. You can't be painting it like, you know, you're at the same height level. So I've lowered her so I can see, get the proportions a little bit more correct. Photographers up here, of course, their viewpoint is a bird's eye view of Frida. So today I'm fixing that and trying to angle her shoulders a little bit more correctly, etc., etc. It was just getting too much of a funky, this isn't working feel. So there we are. Anyway, yesterday I made, the past 2 days I've been making reels for Instagram and Facebook, and please go to my Facebook and Instagram pages. Instagram, I spent last week trying to figure out how to do stories, and then I figured out quickly how to turn the story to highlight, and then make reels of the same material, the same themed material. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to put music on my highlights like other people, or audio, and it may just be that I'm working with an LG phone. So I'm not sure, but I don't have the ability to do that. So the highlights are very dry, but I'm still proud that I figured out how to do that. It was a couple day process, but from there I've started making reels, kind of like a squirrel though. I'm just like, make another reel. Yesterday I spent 3 hours making a reel about this channel. I've been thinking a lot lately about, you know, what is going on? There's a truck out front. I've been thinking a lot lately about making reels that are like portraits of me and stuff, but it's a little too self-contained and a little too egotistical. It makes my skin crawl. But I found one of my favorite songs by Dave Matthews. I was reminded of it, and so that set the tone and the theme for a video I made. It's Why I Am. I love that song, Why I Am, and I found a live version that worked perfectly. So I made that video. Oh, okay. Sorry, it's a FedEx truck apparently going to my neighbor across the street who gets a lot of FedEx deliveries. Anyway, so Why I Am, it's up on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of it. But then I went ahead yesterday and made a second reel, and it was about this channel. And I pulled screenshots off. What we have going on here? It's directing traffic for somebody. I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, it's about this video. I was pulling screenshots of the different videos and posting those, and then I went through the library, the video content, and screenshotted all the video content. I've made over 600 videos like this. 600 videos where we're talking in the studio. I'm talking in the studio, and using you as therapy, and posting them. But over 600 videos over, ready for this? Almost a 10-year time period. Almost 10 years. In February it will be, I think it's February 13th, I'm not sure. 10 years. 10 years. There were some videos I made before that were posted on Kickstarter and a couple of other places, but I wasn't adept at using YouTube. Not that I'm adept now, but I'm better at it. I didn't know how to use YouTube because it wasn't the YouTube we know today. It was different. It was a lot more raw, and not everyone was using it. Now, of course, everyone uses it. But once I got in my first studio, which was Studio 120, and that was in Pawtucket, I just started the channel. I wrote my gallery in New York, and I said, do you mind if I start promoting myself since you're not doing it? And that was in the contract you were going to. How about if I do it? So I started the channel. It was strictly to, at that point in my mind, it was strictly to promote my work. And then I started talking. And then I was like, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to try talking about the work. And it was it's been a lot of throwing spaghetti at the walls for 10 years. I still can't believe it. It's been 10 years. I really can't even believe it. So, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning. A lot of throwing spaghetti at the walls over 10 years and trying to figure things out. But I was talking to a friend of mine this morning and on Instagram, and I said, this is a pretty unique thing that I've done. He saw the video about this channel, and he was like, wow, blah, blah, blah. And I said, it's hitting me. This is wholly unique. This channel and these videos are completely unto themselves. It's its own thing. I'm not sure anyone has ever done this before, ever. I believe I'm the first. I'm not on here showing you how to do stuff and look at me, I'm smarter than you. I'm usually like, I'm an idiot, this is what happened, learn from that. Or let's show the painting, and then we'll contextualize it and try and talk our way through the different processes, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not actually on here going, we're going to take this cadmium yellow that was developed by this guy in that year and blue, and I'm going to put it on here, and look how smart I am. Oh, I painted a rose. We're not doing that. We've actually made a chronicle of an artist's life, and I'm not sure that's ever been done before on video. So I'm kind of like poopity boop, patting myself on the back. I'm always very embarrassed by my videos, but I don't worry about it. I don't really care. I don't care what people think. And there are several people, I need you to hear that. I don't care. I have a hat in the ring policy, where if you don't have a hat in the ring, your opinion meaning in the boxer's ring. It's the old quote by, was it FDR or Winston Churchill? One of the World War II leaders. Yeah, if you're not actually in the boxing ring, I don't care. So, yes, I embarrass myself in these videos, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't need to show you how perfect I am. I don't need anybody to know. I don't need to teach these magnificent painting skills that I may or may not have. I don't care. There are millions of other people doing that. What we're doing here is chronicling an artist's life, and possibly for the first time, over the past 10 years, possibly for the first time, and showing people exactly what it's like to be an artist, instead of being a trope. this is what it is. And yes, I have these thoughts that I want to share with you over. I remember one of the first ones I did, that was maybe 8 or 9 years ago, was I was in my second studio sweating profusely with Bugsy running around panting and trying to find a cool place to lay down because it was so friggin' hot in that second studio. I said something about the amateur, comparing the amateur and the professional, and how I believe it was something with amateurs look for inspiration and professionals show up and do the work. And that was before I had heard the Chuck Close quote or knew of it. And I remember it pissed a couple people off, but again, I don't really care. If you're not doing this, if you don't have your hat in the ring, if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not showing yourself, if you're not unafraid to be, okay, now I'm patting myself on the back really hard. If you're not putting yourself out there and you're not making yourself vulnerable, if you're not willing to make an ass of yourself and make mistakes and embarrass yourself, or do something truly wonderful and have a significant accomplishment, I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If you're sitting off in the woods, and I get this once in a while, if you're sitting off in the woods being like, well, you should do this and you should, I don't care. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather hear from the person that has completely exposed themselves and has experience as exposing themselves, and someone who's like, well, you know, I know more than you, even though I barely do anything. So, and I don't paint anything but my perfection. My perfection works online. Sorry, that got a little snotty. I just went through something, so I'm still steaming. Went through something with somebody, and I'm still steaming about it. So, anywho, back to the 10 years. I want to show you something. This is how much you've seen me go through without knowing. I've been going through it for the most part. We know that I had a truck when I started. I believe we know. I had a truck when I started. The transmission died twice. The second time was coming out of Manhattan after dropping off paintings with Eden Fine Art. Coming out of Manhattan, the transmission went. I literally coasted over the line into Connecticut, parked at a gas station, and then had to find a ride home. Thankfully, somebody I knew thankfully a friend had another friend who was almost at that moment driving through the same place, came and picked me up and brought me back to New Bedford. Then I bought, to replace that, it was about a year and a year. I got a scooter that never ran well. I got a second scooter that got stolen. And then I got the third scooter, the Buddy, which ran really well for a while. So in between all of that, I had a studio in Pawtucket, and I was living in different parts of, I lived in East Providence, which is 7 miles away. And I had to take public transportation to get there. 7 miles. It was only 7 miles. It would take me 3 hours. 3 hours to get to my studio, and then 3 hours to come home. Some of that was I actually talked about online because I would be so tired. But most of the time it's just like focus on it and get it done. What else happened? I had one space with the ceiling caved in. I had another when I signed with Eden Fine Art, and they screwed up the contract immediately so they could just stop paying me. That happened. And then I got evicted from my studio because I had money coming up from Eden Fine Art. Then they stopped paying me, so I lost my studio. I had to move out. I moved in with another friend in the exact same building. We shared studio for a summer. Then I got another studio. Then I moved, where did I move to? Got another studio in Pawtucket. Then I ended up moving to Central Falls, which was a tiny cockroach-filled apartment. then I moved to Virginia, then I moved to Florida, and now you watch me bounce around Florida. So that's some of the stuff that you've seen on camera. But I'm going to show you what cameras we have used over the past 10 years. Now, I started off with Nikon pics, a number of Nikon pics, and I would only get them used, and they had to cost they usually cost like 10, 20 bucks. So they would die, I'd get another one used, always for Craigslist at that point, because we didn't have Facebook Marketplace. So I'd get cool pics. And I think this one, no, it's this one. This one came from a friend of mine named Nicole. Again, the cool pics had died. I couldn't afford to get another one. I was spending 6 hours a day going to and from my studio while working a full-time job, by the way, while working full-time jobs. So my friend Nicole gave me this because I was just like, I can't even post anything online. I can't take pictures. And she goes, oh, I'll give you mine. It was the sweetest thing. We happened to be in the same mill in Pawtucket, and we would just stand and talk. And we were talking one day about doing online stuff, and I said, my camera died again, and I don't have the time or the money to go get another one. She goes, oh, I've got one. I never use it. So that came from Nicole. Let's see. I've kept everything. There's 3 of the cool pics, and I probably had a good dozen of them over time. So I have more of them there somewhere. But I'm going to show you some of the other equipment we used on this YouTube channel. Oh, there's some other cool pics. There's another one. That's a mouse. I don't know what that's doing in there. Oh, wait. Like I said, I kept everything. It's all in boxes. Oh, we got a Fuji. I did have a couple of those too. They're packed away somewhere. But let me show you. We used, there's a Sony. We used Motorola when the cameras died. No, this one we couldn't use. We tried using this guy. This was 10 years ago, 9, 10 years ago, when one of the cameras died. I tried using my little phone. Anybody recognize this antique? That didn't work out well. We had a number of flip phones, which I still love flip phones. We used flip phones, so the videos came out really funky, but at least we were able to make them. Oh, there's a Samsung. There's a little phone. Eventually, and I have them all. They're just in different boxes. Eventually, over time, I was able to get, this is rubber band stuck to it, smartphones, and we used these to make videos with too until they shut the bed. I get everything used, so we would just get a phone, ditch it when it stopped working, get another phone, ditch it when it stopped working, get another phone, and then I think this is, that's my first smartphone, my second semi-smartphone. Oh no, wait a minute, I have 3 smartphones. What's this one? Oh, I've had 4. 5? No, 4. I don't know. I've had a bunch of them. And like I said, a number of flip phones. These are all things that we used just to keep band-aiding our way along on this channel. And I did keep them all, and I kept them all not because I think they're going to come back in fashion one day, or I'm going to magically be able to fix it and use it. There's pictures of Bugsy on here, on all of them. So I want to hang on to them till the day I can actually download the photographs, because those are so important to me. And just think about it. When we started this channel, when we started this channel, Bugsy was alive. Bugsy was my studio mate. Can you believe it? And it's been 2 years now. Okay, we won't talk about it. But once I was able to upgrade to smartphone, eventually, I think somebody gave me 2 laptops. I got 2 used laptops from friends. Both of them caught on fire. I don't know how that happened. Then we moved on to iPads. And I have had, oh look, another smartphone. So far, we have been through, is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4 iPads, 5 with the one that we're using. And I'm hanging on to these because, again, Bugsy might be in here. And so we may have a way to get Bugsy. But my hope is, too, like this one, I just mashed this one. It had a case. I said that caught on fire and got burned. And then it started falling apart. So the last time I dropped it, the poor little screen became a mess. But I'm also hoping that I can replace the screens, that someday I'll be able to afford to replace the screens on these guys and get them up and operating again and put them in real protection. Let me see, where's the one? There was one, oh, this is the one. This is the one I had in Virginia. And, oh, no, this isn't the one in Virginia. There's another one running around where it's just a complete and utter mess, the screen, because I kept dropping it on the cement floor. I didn't realize there was such a thing as iPad covers. Who knew? So 1, 2, 3, 4 different iPads. This is what you've been watching. This is what was used to film what you've been watching on this channel for 10 years, or some of it anyway. Some of it. And it's all been uploaded to my PC, which has changed 3 times. I changed the actual tower 3 times. Had to have the hard drive, whatever, debugged and stuff. And then, but I still have the exact same hard drive. I actually have 2 different hard drives. The other one's in storage, come to think of it. So we've been through a lot of equipment together, a lot of events, and some of it is evident on the video. All right, some of it I talk about on the videos. A lot of it I don't, because who cares? But the evidence of it, when I watch the videos, I can see the evidence of every issue, every success, every problem we have solved in the videos, and I remember every single moment. I also think, why did you say that? That was the dumbest thing in the world. But we're just sticking with it. I'm not editing. I'm not correcting. I've tried to. Sorry, I believe in staying with. I hate this word, authenticity. I believe with staying with what is honest and true. So we're just going to keep going the way we're going, regardless of what anybody thinks. We're just going to keep going with what we've been doing and keep chronicling the life. 10 years. 10 years. That's... Wait a minute. No, it started in Rhode Island, Virginia, Florida. So it's just 3 states, but probably 12.5 moves. I don't know how many studios and live workspaces. Well, all of them have been live workspaces. They have to be, but wow, holy moly. We've covered a lot of topics. I've told a lot of stories. I started off very dry and clumsily, trying to find my way. I've gotten slightly more refined, but I'm certainly no public speaker. It just is what it is. It is what it fucking is. That's it. Maybe that should be the new name of the channel. Oh, and we changed the name of the channel too. From Studio 120, my first studio, to Catalyst and Company. We did that, was it a year ago? A year and a half ago? Yeah, a year and a half ago when I lived in my last rental. Because I'd gotten so down and I was spinning my wheels in Studio 120. And I was just trying to figure out how we were going to tackle things. How could we possibly move forward or improve or lighten up or just be something else with the same name? Every time I turned on the camera or my iPad or whatever I was using, I would say, hey, I'm Beck Lane, this is Studio 120, blah, blah, blah. Rolls off the tongue, easy to say, Reminds me of my time in my first studio and the best space I've ever owned, but it also reminded me of every bad thing that has happened. So that murkiness was sitting in my heart and in my soul every time I turned on the camera for about 3 years, 4 years. So a year and a half ago, I was just like, we're going to change the name. And I sat down and I started writing out names that I thought might work. And Catalyst, and might lift me, which would again help the viewer to lift themselves, hopefully. It's a little lofty, and it's a little presumptuous. But it's also a reminder, I think, that we need to be catalysts in our own lives. We not only need to be catalysts in our own lives, but we need other people to help us be those catalysts. And sometimes we need the other person to be the catalyst. But we've got to learn, we have to be reminded that we need to be our own catalysts. Find our way, find our strength, find our direction, find our drive. And not give a shit when anybody thinks. There we go. All right, I think that's it. I don't know what we're going to do for a 10-year anniversary, but in making that video that I talked about, one of the videos that I talked about in the beginning, the one that's about this channel, and I'll have a link to it down below so you can watch how silly, just how self-aggrandizing I am in another, way. When I was writing the description for it, I was like, over 600 videos made over a 10-year period, filming an artist's life, something like that. What did I wrote? I crack me up. I wrote, sometimes I get it. Something like sometimes it's not. This is not it. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes everything comes out sideways. Period. That wasn't it, but it's close enough. Next sentence, which cracks me up. It's like watching a frog in a blender. A crazy, confused, blabbering frog in a blender. Nailed it. But then also, oh God, what was the last line that? It's like when I'm looking at somebody else's words and they make me laugh. Sometimes I look back and I go, oh my God, that is so funny. Oh my God, what was the last line? Watching a frog in a blender. Okay, I can't remember. It was funny at the time. Yeah, I had to be there. It's on my Facebook page. So you can go to my Facebook page or Instagram and you can read the posts. You can read how funny I am. But yeah, go to Instagram, go to my Facebook page. The links are down below. And you can see both those videos. One of them has something like 1,400 views. And that had 1,400 views within hours of me posting it. And then, but the first one, Why I Am, that's not quite hitting the mark. I think we have 750 views on Facebook. But again, I don't really care. I don't care. I'm doing it for my own amusement and for the people who like the work and have been kind and support me. That's it. I don't need my ego boosted by having millions of people I don't know butting in. All right, that's it. I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst & Company and my hair. If you'd like to help support Catalyst & Company as well as my hair, all the links are down below. And Frida too. Frida, because she eats a lot. All the links are down below, including links to TeePublic, where you can buy images of my work printed on tote bags, coffee mugs, pillows, etc. What's the other one? TeePublic Patreon, where you can supply monthly support as low as $5 a month. There's also links to Cash App and PayPal if you would like to buy me lunch. That would be greatly appreciated. Frida's hogging everything in the fridge, so as well as links to all my galleries, including J. Louise out at Blue Egg Gallery in Fort Lauderdale, Chasen Galleries here in Sarasota, and my friend Raphael Coelho up in Newark, New Jersey. That's it. All right, Carrie, 10 years. 10 years. 10 years of putting up with us. All right, ciao. Ciao. Meow, meow.